Okay, you guys, I think this needs to be said because I just realized, and I said maybe this is probably why we are not having African and African
Turn that
American
down a little
unity.
bit.
A lot of Africans do not really understand how new America is. See, they are taught by their colonizers that America is this old country that's been around for a very long time. So, in their eyes, we have been freed for 500 to 1,000 years, and we have been had opportunity for a very long time. And in their eyes, they just do not understand what is the setback because, like I said, they are taught by their oppressors, by their colonizers. So let me see on TikTok. I'm going to tell you the truth about America. It is a new fucking country. It's new. How new, you may ask? Depending on the family, some family members are only 2 generations out of slavery because slavery ended 160 years ago. 160 years ago. That is under 200 years. So if one of your grandparents lived until 120 years, that means you're really 2 generations in. Some is like 2 to 3 generations in of being out of slavery. And of that 160 years, you forgot about Brown versus Board of Education. Now, some of you guys don't know about that concept. But you know how we have white people and black people and Asian people and all these people all in school together having fun, twerking and all that type of shit? Yeah, that's thanks to Brown versus Board of Education. Because before that, it was white schools and it was black schools.
Yep.
That's it. You was either going to the black school or you going to the white school. And you better be all white going to the white school because you ain't going to be allowed in. So thanks to Brown versus Board of Education, it allowed integration into schools. But that happened less than 80 years ago. And after that, you still have segregation and some people still participating in slavery in the South. So if you really tack on to every discrimination that was still being allowed by police force and everything else, I'm going to say, really, you really think about it, America's really only like 40 years of being held accountable for shit, if you really want to think about it. So if you really understand that we're really about 40 to 50 years of really now fully holding America accountable for their shit, you should really now understand when America keeps saying that we need to have payment, we need to have payment. It is not a handout. It is a damn, we really did fuck up for almost all of our lives. Also, I hate to say this, but like low key in my head, and shout out to the Jewish people, bro. I don't really hate y'all for real. I just don't like, the government right now and the way they treat Palestine. I really be fucking with y'all for real. You know what I mean? Because one thing about it is what people need to understand is that I don't know what it is.
Ever since the Essence Fest in New Orleans, the tensions between Black Americans and Africans have been heating up online. What was supposed to be a cultural celebration turned into another diaspora debate. Now we got Black Americans saying that Africans don't understand new America, and Africa firing back with their own takes. Let's get into it.
Y'all gotta understand something. When talking about
What's
black
that?
people, bro, there's 3 different kinds of black people. You feel what I'm saying? There's black people, niggas, and cocoons. Now, the difference between the 3 is that, you feel what I'm saying, you got black people who, you feel what I'm saying, who contribute to society, who want to do better in life. Help their own out more than likely.
Right,
and they help
right.
everybody else. You feel what I'm saying? That's what black people are. They cool, easy going. And then you have niggas. Niggas is what, I feel like, niggas is what half the world see us as. Because that's what y'all see on the internet, right? You got people who tote guns, for some odd reason they think they can't be touched. You feel what I'm saying? They talk big, but they don't do nothing. I grew up around niggas my whole life. That's why I'm not scared of them most of the time. Because I know what they really are. We grew up together, Terrence. We know you pussy. They basically...
Listen, if you're from the hood, you definitely grew up with a bunch of those. And like, for instance, my high school class was over 500 kids. It was a big high school. One of the largest. So yeah, a lot of them ninjas, man. I feel you on that.
Basically the bad part about people. That's what niggas is. Then you have cocoons, aka traitors. We don't see those kind of people as human. Like, they would rather betray their own kind just to get an appeal from the other people. Like, They the scum of the scum, bro. We don't respect those people. We don't claim them.
It's Uncle
They played a
Ruckus.
huge part in slavery, believe it or not, bro. But yeah, bro, I would rather be around a racist, closed-minded white man than be around a cocoon. On some real shit, bro.
That means you sold out. That's pretty much you a snitch. You a rat. You can't be trusted. A cocoon. What's that?
I have reached South Africa TikTok. Now, I grew up in SA my whole life, but I've lived my whole adult life in Los Angeles, basically. But I'm looking
right,
at the
nice,
names
nice.
of the people commenting today on all our videos, and I know you are all South African. So if I have reached South African TikTok and the algorithm did its thing, like TikTok always does, if you're from SA, please comment below, because I want to find my SA peeps. This makes me so happy. Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, comment below. Bye.
Dear Africans and other black people of the diaspora, black Americans are not your children. You do realize we are the only group of people that took a racial derogatory term used against us and turned it into a term of endearment, right? You're begging.
That's the N-word, which has been used around the world.
For unity, but you're disrespecting us in the same sentences. We feel absolutely zero shame when you call us xenophobic. And we're proud of our ancestors that overcame slavery and Jim Crow. So please, carry on.
You want to know the funny thing about South Africa? They're literally almost like our twin. They were raped, pillaged, forced into essentially ghettos, segregated by the Dutch and the British, especially between 1948 up into the mid-90s. Essentially, South African apartheid. They were diseased, they were drugged just like us. They were labeled as kefirs, which is their version of nigger. Bro, they're literally like our fucking twin. And the interesting thing about the English specifically, they did the same shit in Australia. Their descendants did it here in America. Great Britain needs to be fucking tried in world court. And the Dutch,
that ain't never
and the
happening.
English especially need to be removed from South Africa by any means. And y'all know what the fuck I mean by any means. That country needs to be fucking tried in world court.
That ain't ever gonna happen. That's never gonna happen because they run the world for sure. And Tyla was just a little added spice to this African debate. And South Africa was like, you know what? We don't like y'all. Y'all want to embellish, scar our name as Africans with some BS festival.
Black people divested.
Isn't there some boycotting or something? That's why you guys started boycotting the Africans. I heard about that.
They're carrying her to the car.
And that's crazy. Hear what she said. They divested.
Now y'all want to use sympathy and payola to make it seem like she falling out and fainting and too drunk and medical emergency, something going on with her. Keep it and save it. Y'all don't have no more budget for PR stunts and games. Whatever little bit of money that y'all have left in y'all budget needs to be used for writers and producers and choreographers and originality. Y'all need an image consultant. Y'all need who they need? They need somebody to help her with media training. Stop spending money on tricks and giggles and stunts and things that we do not care about. Things that are not going to help get that music sold. Help get her somebody who can help repair her image. She needs a new publicist, a new manager, a whole new team, because the team that she got now, they don't know what they're doing. They lost in the sauce. Tyla, have a sip of water, girl, and leave us alone with this.
Like we say in Tobago, drink your water and mind your business.
There are two main mistakes that Tyla made in terms of referring to herself as colored in America. Number one, she did not know her audience. And number two, which I think this is the most important, is just respecting your audience. This is a good example of empathy in cross-cultural communication. So we have to think about like other people's emotions, right? When they hear a certain word, comes from their history. So you have to take that into consideration and respect that. That is a way of showing empathy to people. Because it's not really about her intention, right? She could just say, hey, I understand that this word makes you feel this way, and I will just adjust how I speak so I don't hurt you. That's not a lot to ask, especially when you are within that group. Okay, she can go back home and refer to herself the way she wants to, but I think we're just losing sight of like what it means to just understand and have empathy for people and not just center yourself. She could center the audience, her audience as well. Because if you know your audience, right, and you know their history, what you can do is that you need to understand that words cannot just be thrown around. Meaning that as important as this word is to you from a cultural or heritage standpoint, you are walking into a different space. So what you need to do then is, number one, if you don't have the time and space to truly explain what that word means to you as a person, then find a different way, okay, to describe your heritage. Because if you understand how deeply hurtful a word like that can be to an audience, I just won't throw it around without proper time and proper opportunity to give strong context behind it. And you can just do that and then move on. But I think the key thing here is that you can be proud of your culture and where you are and your heritage, but that same thing doesn't translate well everywhere. This is not as easy as saying, people in America call this a garbage can, and in another country they say it's a rubbish bin. That is different. That is a completely different context here. And I think people are just trying to simplify it as it's something so simple as these words are have different meanings in different places. It is not. It's something that is deeply, deeply hurtful to a lot of people. And if you're going to use it, if you're going to refer yourself as such, I would just advise that she has enough time and enough space to be able to provide context around it. And the third thing I want to add is that this is an audience that she's trying to win over, and they don't have to support her if what she says deeply offends them.
When I think about this whole situation, I always think about how much entitlement is put into it, because the way she dismissed the Black Americans, it was almost like she felt she was too big for the program, and was like, okay, well, you do you, girl. You're gonna be out here. Because a lot of things that happen has to be entitlement, because she felt like she can come into the culture, act and be herself. Somebody says, be you, girl. You have to be you. Okay, you could be you. There's no problem with that. We'll just not support you. That's all they did. They didn't pull any money back. They didn't start any fights. They just walked away. And that was enough. It's like a boycott. Target, when we went through that Target boycott, they losing mad money. And we're still going through it. I haven't shopped at Target in a long time.
Sure, guys, gone are the days where I used to finish work at 2 o'clock and then you call a friend or two and be like, let's meet up for a drink. Nothing hectic, just for a quick convonyana. How's your day going and so on. Gone are the days where I can get off work and go and do shopping. Not grocery shopping, just window shopping, yana. Go into Truett's, yana, see a dress that you like, pick it up, go and pay for it. Stop at Magen Beanie, have a cappuccino, and then go home. No, not in America.
No.
America, you literally go to work, go home. Go to work, go home. Go to work, go home, go to bed. Go to work, go home, go to bed. You have to squeeze in, even the grocery, you have to squeeze in. There's no colleague, let's go out for lunch yana, on Friday, or let's go for drinks. Yana. No. There's nothing like that. The colleagues, they are my colleagues. The only time that I'm ever talking to them, when I need something from them, or when they need something from me. There's no meeting each other after work, no hanging out together, even though
when I listen to stuff like this, I'm an immigrant. I'm not from here. But if you got so much dislikes, you could always not be here. You could leave and go back and do what you've been doing. What are you complaining about? Nobody asked you to come. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bring you over here during slavery. No, you came on your own. So if you don't want to deal with it, you could fly back out on the next flight. I never understood somebody entitled like this. This is entitlement to me. Like, I would never be here complaining about how bad certain things are when I'm the one came and chose to be here. Right? Am I wrong? Let me know that in the comments.
Try to be supportive in some elements of my colleagues that I've we've grown closer. But even with that, like, if we are working together in the same building, that day that I don't see, I just don't see you. Whereas back home in South Africa, if you are my friend and you're my colleague, if I don't see you, I'm coming to find you. I'm coming to your classroom to find you, and I come to give you a hug, like, be a vibe. Here, no. If I see, I see. If I don't see, I don't see. Classic American life. Classic American life. I can't do anything. Even if I want to go out for a drinking, and it's gonna cost me $200 outside. Just to go and have a quick drinking, and I just want to get cow and I'm in a leg. And again, how much am I making? Happy. Yo, I go wish Hashem.
Of course, you could always go back to South Africa. And, where I'm from, the culture, everything is different. When I'm here, I'm not expecting to see that because I know I'm in a different place, in a different culture, a different country. So I have to adapt to that. If you can't adapt and you don't want to be here, you could always go back. Let's see how the Italian feels about the Black Americans.
Black Americans, I love y'all, but again, you just show us that the education system in America is probably not the best. Not even probably. It's just not. Because why are y'all just figuring out that blackness exists outside of America? Like, y'all being so fascinated about Black people in Scotland. And then y'all say, oh, y'all, there's Black people in Scotland, and claiming them as Black when they're immigrants from Africa. Like, y'all, just...
Now, I don't like the energy she came in on. So, I got my defense up. But, the way she's speaking is clearly she's not educated either. Because we talked about that in a lot of the videos about the suppression of Black Americans in this country by the government. You don't know what the propaganda is, but information don't come in. Information don't come in everywhere you go the same way. There's a different suppression. And there's a lot of people that's really finding that out for the first time. There's a lot of people like that. But I'm never going to make fun of people for not knowing something. I'm going to try and help the situation and help educate the people involved. But you're already down the wrong path. Let's keep going.
Sit this one out. Please, I beg. The embarrassment is getting too much because we try to tell y'all blackness exists outside of America, and Black Americans came at us and said that their experience was what truly mattered because slavery happened to them. But yet, when you look at all African countries, everybody got an Independence Day, babes, because slavery never ended. And yes, there are Black people everywhere, not just in America.
Everybody came from Africa. So for you to say that Americans don't believe that they're Africans, everybody came from Africa at some point. We just had different journeys. But listen, that's what we got coming up in the next mashup. We got the Italians coming up, Black Italians. We're going to leave the South Africans alone for a little while. We're going to head over to Italy and Scotland, and we're going to check them out, see what's going on, see what get the cookout set up, showed us. But the Essen Fest gave us this beef with South Africa. And what was supposed to be a good gesture, it seems like it turned into a mud fight because South Africa ain't letting it go. Now, do y'all feel that's probably the real reason why they didn't support Tyla? Because of the Essen Fest situation? Now, how come Tyla didn't put, no, I shouldn't even say that. But hey, y'all need to let me know down in the comments how y'all feel about this situation, because South Africa still wants to fight, but America says, nah, we're moving on. And then the Italians, like this privileged young lady here, who probably just doing that to get views. Because you know what? That's the same old story they say, oh, Americans are the dumbest. They don't understand anything. Well, we've said enough in these videos, right? People outside the United States that only watch a lot of content that comes from the United States don't understand. We see the same thing. They ain't showing us y'all. Even though people say, yeah, there's black people everywhere. But until you see one speaking the language with the dialect, it doesn't really click in your head. Right? So y'all need to let me know how y'all feel. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peapod Cove, life. I'm out, y'all.